Hey, speaking of the sperm that made it through and the sperm that might not make it through, let's talk about the New York Football Jets, dog. You know, my man Joe Douglas, the GM, you all know how I feel about Mighty Joe, Big Joe. Big Joe Douglas coming out and saying, hey, about the whole Sam Darnold situation. He's like, yo, we're taking calls about Sam Darnold. Like, if any team is interested, oh, yeah, we're taking calls about Sam Darnold. I'm like, well, duh, of course you're taking calls about Sam. Hey, everyone is taking calls nowadays. It's like, if you got a phone, you just call anybody in the NFL because everybody except the Houston Texans are taking calls, all right? You know what I'm saying? If you know the number, you dial that number and they're taking calls, dog. Trust me, I prank called them, man. You know what I did to Guru? Hey, I called the Houston Texans. I prank called them. I'm like, hey, this is the Guru. I want to make a trade for Deshaun Watson. And you know what? They hung up on me, dog. They're like, they ain't taking no calls. I'm like, yo, y'all got it. Y'all got it, dog. But my man Joe Douglas said he taking calls, right? So this got me thinking, Joe. This just got me thinking, man. Because it appears like the Jets are going with the dude from BYU, Zach Wilson. That's what it appears like. It looks like it's a Zach Wilson draft for the New York Jets, right? I might be wrong, but I'm the Guru, so more than likely I'm right. So this just got me thinking, man. And I was thinking about it in my years and years of doing this, right? Doing this football thing, man. Since I'm the nerd of football, I'm the voice of football. I am the football guy. When you think about football, you think about the Guru. And there's been situations where every time it's like, especially going into the draft, the first and second pick a quarterback. You know that quarterback battle, who's going to be the first quarterback, who's going to be the second quarterback pick? And you know what? It got me thinking, dog. New York Football Jets, man. I don't know if I want to be in your situation right now, bro. Because, through that history, and when I'm saying through the history, I mean through the history from the 90s and current. Because that's when football matters. In football in the 80s, 70s, 60s, ain't nobody cared about that, man, till they started passing the ball. See, football didn't come into existence until they're passing the ball, which is like the 90s, all right? So within the 90s and the 2000s, or where we're at now, right, there's been a few 1 and 2, right? First of all, pick quarterback, and second of all, pick quarterback. And the team that has the second overall pick, it usually don't turn out well for that team. It don't turn out well for that team. So let me go back, man. I got to take it way back. Back in 93. This was in 93. Take it way, way back. This was old school. Y'all millennial might not even know what 93 is. But there was a quarterback. There was the first quarterback pick, Drew Bledsoe. And they're going against another quarterback, Rick Mirer. Rick Mirer was from Notre Dame. He was the golden child, man. My man, Drew Bledsoe was from the Pacific Northwest, from Washington State. And at the end of the day, the two quarterbacks, who was better, Rick Mirer or Drew Bledsoe? The first overall pick went to Drew Bledsoe. And you never heard of Rick Mirer. That's why y'all are like, who the hell is the Guru talking about? Exactly. And then I want to move on to 1998. You're like, Guru, what you talking about 1998? Yeah, dog, we moving on up, man. 98, there was this two quarterback called, it was Peyton Manning versus Ryan Leaf. Yeah, man, at this time, Peyton Manning was from Tennessee, come from a family of just legend. From his dad to the Manning family and all that nonsense. And then there was Ryan Leaf. This time he was from the Pacific Northwest, from Washington State. Ryan Leaf was a prototypical, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he got strong arm, he good looking kid. He just looked like Tarzan. And they're going against Peyton Manning. And you know what? The Colts pick Peyton Manning as the number one overall pick. And y'all know what happened to Ryan Leaf. Or maybe y'all might not know it. Be wary, New York Jets. Move on. So 1999, a year later. The only exception I might give to this rule, Tim Couch versus Donovan McNabb in 1999. Couch and McNabb. You know what I'm saying? McNabb was his second pick. Tim Couch was the first of all pick. But the only thing I got to say is the Cleveland Browns made that pick. So obviously there's exceptions to every rule. All right. So then we move to 2012. Andrew Luck versus RG3. We all know who won that battle. The first overall pick. We moved to 2015. Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. We call that a wash. We call that a wash, all right? We call that a wash. 2016, Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. Hey, Jared Goff played in the Super Bowl. Jared Goff won playoff games. Carson Wentz, we haven't seen that. So as you could tell, Jared Goff have a slight edge, even though we all see the ending of that situation. So what I'm trying to say, New York Jets, historically, when you have the second overall pick and you're going for a quarterback, that don't really mean well for you, New York Jets and Joe Douglas. History shows the team that got the number one overall pick usually gets the better of the two. History shows. And in this situation, the Jags got the number one overall pick. That shows they will have the better of the two. So New York and Joe Douglas, be very weary with the number one overall pick while you're picking a quarterback, because history is not on your side. If you go and pick Wilson for BYU and you pick Zach Wilson, now you're going against history, my friend Joe Douglas. You're going against history. Once again, history shows if you have the second overall pick and it's a battle between two quarterbacks, the second quarterback usually don't pan out. History shows that, from the Drew Bledsoe to Rick Mirer to the Peyton Manning and the Ryan Leaf, from Tim Couch, Donovan McNabb to Andrew Luck. That's who I'm looking for. So the Andrew Luck, Robert Griffin Jr. We all know number one, number two. There's a reason why they're the number two instead of number one. So New York Jets and Joe Douglas, I know you're taking calls for Sam Darnold, but sometimes, man, it don't hurt if your phone get disconnected, and stay with who you got, dog. Because, hey, the grass ain't always greener, man. I know you're in New York, but the grass ain't always greener, man.